Hello there! I felt like it was time for another Pride and Prejudice adaptation review, so I've spent my free time this past week rewatching the web series The Lizzie Bennet Diaries. I've talked about the whole web series adaptation of classic literature on YouTube phenomenon once before. This is the big cheese, the one that I think started it all, the most successful one, the series won an Emmy, and still the most popular one. Created by Hank Green and Bernie Sue, it is a modernized adaptation of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, in which Lizzie Bennet, a poor grad student, starts posting a series of video diaries. It starts innocently as a thesis project, but evolves into a chronicle of her and her sister's private lives. The Lizzie Bennet Diaries consist of 100 short episodes, all of which can be found here on YouTube under the channel name The Lizzie Bennet Diaries. But if you want the full LBD experience, I recommend going to the Pemberley Digital channel and watching the complete playlist, which has all 160 videos in the order they were posted. So sprinkled in with Lizzie's videos are Lydia's vlogs, Maria Lou's practice videos, and Gigi Darcy's so-called demos. 160 videos sounds like a lot, but few of them are over 5 minutes long, and if you think of it as a TV show, it's really not so daunting, and you really get a lot more of the story if you watch all of them in order as intended. Lydia's blogs are especially important. Episodes first started going up in 2012, but I don't think I heard of the series until 2013, at which point the series was almost over, and I didn't latch onto it then because, honestly, I didn't fully understand the concept. But sometime after it had ended, and after I had watched a couple random episodes, I went back to the beginning and watched the whole thing, and then it was like, aha, I get it. I think I've expressed this before, that I do tend to be wary of modernized retellings of the classics, especially classics that I feel close to. It's hard to both remain faithful to the source material and to make sufficient updates to the plot that it will seem plausible in a 21st century setting. It's a difficult balance to achieve, and chances are, at some point, something's gonna give on one side or the other. But here, everything works. The script, the acting, the storytelling style, the aesthetics. The Lizzie Bennet Diaries convincingly updates the story and stays true to the book and is a quality piece of entertainment. There was clearly a lot of love for the source material when they made this. There are references to the book, its adaptations, and other Jane Austen books cleverly worked in. And sometimes the characters even question things from the book or films that normally we take for granted or that seem comical when taken out of context. They do make some big changes, especially to accommodate the medium. Since most of these videos are filmed in Lizzie's bedroom, you can't exactly have all the characters parading in and out all the time, so there are certain characters who are removed or altered or otherwise represented. For the most part, this works surprisingly well. I do miss a couple things, though, especially seeing Lizzie's interactions with her dad. One of the best things they decided to do to get around this difficulty was to incorporate costume theater as a way of reenacting conversations or working through things that happen. It's a creative way to inform the audience about people and events that they didn't get to see, of course, but it's also incredibly funny. At some point, everyone who appears on camera is dragged into participating, and it's hilarious to see them doing imitations of each other. I know I'm not the only one who absolutely loves Jane's impression of Darcy. Having the bulk of the story told through Lizzie's vlogs really underlines her subjectivity. She is representing the facts to us, but it's the facts as she sees them. She's not always right in her perceptions of things. That is a big theme of the novel, and it is a big theme here. She's smart, but she's not always unbiased, and her preconceived notions do inform her opinions. So Charlotte and Jane and Lydia and Caroline encourage us to question Lizzie's accuracy, Not because she's deliberately deceiving us, but because, as is explicitly stated, Lizzie only sees what she wants to see. The show is addictive and easy to binge watch, and I think the more episodes you watch in a row, the easier it is to get so immersed in it that you forget that what you're watching isn't real. The humor and attention to detail and production quality are great, but I think what really sells it are the performances. Having seen the whole thing at least a couple times now, I have to say what I really love is the stuff they did with the Bennet sisters. Reducing the sisters from 5 to 3 is something that I admit I originally balked at. What? How could they do such a thing? But after you watch the show, you realize that it worked really well. It worked to their advantage. Not only do Jane, Lizzie, and Lydia actually look and act like they could be sisters, but they each get far more time to develop as individuals and to develop their relationships with each other, and the stuff they do with Lydia is incredible. There is a point when my interest in a Lizzie-Darcy resolution takes a back seat to my interest in the Lizzie-Lydia resolution. What they do with that relationship is so unexpected and so raw. And thanks to heartbreaking episode 87, this is the only Pride and Prejudice adaptation that has ever made me cry. I am so glad that nobody was around when I was watching 87 the other day because I was just a mess. So gross. If the adaptation was just a fluffy comedy, that would be amusing, but maybe not so meaningful. It's the willingness to show the sisters experiencing pain and depression and emotional abuse that makes it stand out and gives it an intensity and relatability it might otherwise lack. And putting that much focus on the sisters' relationships with each other, not just Lizzie and Jane, who are always close, but Lizzie and Lydia, is something I haven't seen any other adaptation do. Is everything about the series credible? No. Is it flawless? Not really. There are a few lines that I find it hard to believe a 20-something would say in real life, and there are a few things that seem a little dated even though it was only 6 years ago. But it was an ambitious endeavor that amazingly came out really well. Whether you know the original story or not, it's convincing and full of surprises. Even the second time around, there were things that I picked up that I hadn't noticed before. Plus, it's very quotable, and dare I say it, gives everyone a happier ending. I do want to throw it out there that there is some mature content, some language, and Lizzie uses some choice words to describe Darcy on a few occasions, and a major part of the plot has to do with a sex tape, so, viewer discretion is advised. You don't see anything, ever, but, well, I saw Pride and Prejudice the first time when I was 6, and I would just say, this is probably not for 6-year-olds. Oh, and there's also a book, The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet, which offers a lot of extra content and escapes the confines of the vlog medium. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but I've heard good things about it. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this review. In case anyone's wondering, I will be reviewing Emma Approved, their adaptation of Jane Austen's Emma, at a later date. I've never seen that one all the way through, so I'm looking forward to checking it out at a later date. It's gonna happen eventually, but not immediately, so hold your horses. In the meantime, let me know what you thought of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries if you've seen it in the comments down below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.